Welcome, welcome, welcome in the lair of the dragon. Bienvenue dans la grotte du dragon Arc-En-Ciel. We're gonna put some coffee. I have a little bit of leftovers for later. I'm just gonna put these bags. Je vais juste la remettre sur le côté parce que ça garde chaud, so that it keeps warm. I am right here in the lair of the dragon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This cold afternoon. It is 3 degrees. First and foremost, I'm going to say my gratitude. This is part 3 on the ongoing Sino-North American real geopolitical analysis, sending memos to North American leaders of North America, NORAD and NATO, from yours truly, independent artist, activist, and athlete, geopolitical analyst and theorist and philosopher, and the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Fundamentally, I dance the best, and I believe firmly in my trinity of theories: the CIT citizen integration theory, the DRT debt fusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory. I encourage you all to work out, to train, and to exercise. Working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice. I've lost more than 77 pounds. Created my own workout training program system, which is effective, simple, and efficient, and which requires no equipment whatsoever, and of which I've performed more than 350 sessions with some things, special drills integrated, like football drills, or special type of integration of different sports, mostly football, North American football, gridiron, right in this underground room office and temple, literally underground in Montreal, Hawk Island. I'm going to express my gratitude. I'm going to say gratitude, because since I died of COVID I almost died of COVID, literally, but in many ways I say I died during COVID, and we're still at the end of COVID, and now as I am being reborn, an Adrian Hanna, dragon androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, that dream, which is a call for a public-private partnership across North America and beyond, and for the rejuvenation, regeneration, and safety and defense and prosperity and assurance of liberty for the North American civilizational collective, aka the North American civilizational complex, which is again one of my geopolitical theories. As a philosopher, there's a North American, Canadian, Quebecer philosopher, which I propose my thesis, and I propose my thesis to the world as the people's doctor, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Working out regularly has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. I'm going to say go Alberta, go Alberta, go Alberta, go for those firefighters, sending some big love, big dragon hugs to those involved in the recovery efforts of course, Alberta. And I'm going to say my gratitude, because if I would have a radio show for an hour, television show, it wouldn't be an hour past where I wouldn't express gratitude. I would not pass an hour without sending thanks and appreciation to the farmers for the bread, for all the goods, because everybody got to eat. Even Wall Street, buying, selling, trading stocks. Please, if you make $1 million on the stock market, buying, selling, trading stocks, futures, options, puts, please give 10% of that million. 10% is the equivalent of 100,000. 100,000 you can divide it by 4, give it 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for women's sports leagues, 25,000 for LGBTQ issues, and 25,000 for environmental causes, to plant a tree for every tree that we cut down. Call it a heart from this financially struggling. Got $10,000 in debt, but I'm grateful, thankful my rent is paid for the month of May. It is May 17th, half 31 days, so it's halfway through May. Paid my rent month of May, paid my electricity for the month of May, and got food for today and for the coming days, and got this coffee, which I'm grateful for, and a blessing. And I even got some sugar. I'm gonna put some sugar in it, sweeten things up. So thank you again, farmers across North America, Quebec, La Belle Province, for the potatoes, for the rutabagas, for the cheese, dairy farmers, for the pig farming. I don't have bacon, but I got bacon 2 weeks ago, so maybe I got enough money for this week or next, for the weekend. If not next weekend, if I find it on special, I got enough change to buy myself 1, 2, or even, if it's on special, $3.99 and $3.99 like it was last time, from $6.99, so almost half price. $3.99 I could possibly get 3 for the rest of the month to have 3 bacons. That's 350-gram bacon, or 375 grams. So yours truly, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. On a fitness journey, I cannot stress enough the importance for regular physical exercise, to do some push-ups, to do some hugs, of course with consent. My main message is hug like you never hugged before. One of the main messages is with consent. Hug like you never hugged before with consent. Hug like you never hugged before with consent. Hug like you never hugged before is one of the main message, which of course I am imparting to the world as Adrian Hanna, dragon androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, which is fundamentally my dream. The call to implement my Trinity theories for the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions. D. North American Citizen Integrated Social Security Defense only, coast to coast only for defense. Non-interventionists for defense, defense public-private partnership, security and service force, citizen integrated, services with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love. All services to be able to be offered, such as massaging, cooking, cleaning, sweeping, reading to children, exercising, encouraging others to exercise, and feet washing, whatever services with consent and hygiene that harms none. Unless, of course, myself, I love BDSM switch. I got a little secret which I've shared in the past and will share now. I do like BDSM switch 1 day out of 7. I don't mind being whipped and being a little bit degraded, if you know what I mean. A little bit degraded, if you know what I mean. A little bit degraded, if you know what I mean. I get pleasure from that. No need to spy on me. RCMP, CSIS, Mossad, Mossad, KGB, now FSB, KGB before, now KGB, FSB before. Stasis are gone after 1989. So CSIS, Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS, CSIS, CIA, because I'm not without faults. I don't play as self-righteous. I rock and roll for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and the truckers, and the truckers, and the truckers. Please, strippers, give truckers and farmers and butchers and all involved in the production and distribution of food, please give them a discount. Half, 50%. Don't be so selfish. If you made a few $100s in a week, give the farmers and the truckers a little bit of discount, a free lap dance, a free XYZ. I wouldn't mind owning a strip club. It will have to be a Rainbow Dragon Goddess Lair. The Rainbow Goddess Dragon's Lair, something, a long title, 7 words. Rainbow Goddesses Dragon's Lair for World Peace. World Peace Dragon Rainbow Strip Club. For Rainbow and World Peace in the name of the club. Or the farmers, the truckers would get special discounts and special drinks if they're truckers, of course. I would have special deals because my brothers and sisters, I'm a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist who's not perfect, far from it. I firmly believe that my Trinity theories at where we are now in this 21st century in 2023 on the 17th of May, I firmly believe implementing my Trinity theories, the CIT citizen integration theory, DRT, debt fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. I just saw city workers saluting the city workers who are now working in infrastructure, the potholes, and all those who pick up the garbage once a week. The garbage is picked up, thank you city workers. Another time the recycling is picked up by another city workers with the trucks, thank you recycling workers. And another time the compost. So 3 times a week, weekly, 3 times, for the garbage once, for the compost once, and for the recycling once. Different times a day, different days, 3 times a week. So service, those city workers, brains and muscle, have to load up the trucks. It takes some brain and some muscle. The building, for us to have built all this civilization, as I presented my thesis to the world, that my brothers and sisters, civilization is a privilege. We have the privilege of civilization, which we utilize, from the multi-millionaire, billionaire, to the one-on social assistance, financially struggling artist like myself, who's open for business but am rich in kisses. Kisses got by the trillions. But nonetheless, civilization is a privilege. At the beginning of 2023, I presented my thesis to the world as the people's doctor. Dr. Dragon, the people's doctor, that we have a privilege of civilization, right? This civilization is a privilege. The roads, the infrastructure. Now I'm utilizing clean, zero pollution energy to utilize doing this video. Built by brains and muscle of one of those workers who since 1944 built 63 dams across this province of Quebec, right? So it took decades to build. I'm blessing them. I'm encouraging Go Hydro Quebec Go with hugs, rock and roll, and kisses that I put on the table, and tickles. I can say no to the tickles, no to the hugs, no to the kisses. You can say no to the hugs. You can say no to the tickles. You can say no, but you can say yes to the fourth dimension rock and roll. So Go Hydro Quebec Go build 7 dams more in the coming 7 years. Get us to 70 because we got 63 now. So to build more dams in the coming years, right? To get us to 70 years. I'm a Quebecer, Canadian, North American. I am a world peace advocate as well, but my policies and my philosophies are first and foremost for the North American Civilizational Collective, aka the Collective North American Civilization, or what I call the North American Civilizational Complex, which has been slowly forming and taking shape since about the Second World War. It is distinct but not totally divorced from Western civilization. So it's not divorced totally from Western civilization, but it is distinct. So it has distinct features and characteristics and components to it, and it's evolving now as I'm speaking with the infrastructure, with the deals being made in real time, whether financial, cultural, economic infrastructure, and I'm calling for, of course, the implementation of my Trinity theories across North America for fundamentally a public-private partnership that my dream is. My dream manifesting as the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, and the call to create for the 21st century 2 new institutions to be integrated with all existing institutions, public and private institutions and organizations. So fundamentally a public-private partnership as a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist. I firmly believe in them 100% without a doubt. I'm not perfect, I'm flawed, I get moody, I've been depressed and suicidal. I've conquered depression, I conquered depression. Working out, training, and exercising, let's do a little bit of stretching while thanking the farmers. Thank you, farmers. Kisses to the farmers and thanks to the butchers, truckers, bakers, nurses, doctors, teachers, grocery store clerks, city workers, construction workers, workers of Hydro Quebec. Big rock and roll for you. And as a philosopher of the people, as an athlete, independent athlete of the people, challenging still Donald Trump and Tyson Fury for my one and only boxing match. I got the gloves here, credited from gifted from my anonymous friend sister, whom I asked already to marry me in an open BDSM switch, open marriage 1 day out of 7 cuckold. Yeah, 1 day out of 7. It can be a CUCK 1 day out of 7 for her pleasure, if you will. It can be 1 day out of 7, not so much to compromise. I can be a CUCK. And of course, I'm part of the LGBTQ androgynous pansexual, but gifted me, so I want to fight Tyson Fury. Dragon versus Fury, Dragon versus Fury, Dragon versus Fury, asking for 333 million. Give 156 million to my anonymous sister friend and 22 million to charity, and the rest to pay my debt, buy a house. That house which has been left decrepit there, 57 the Belvedere and 53 the Belvedere. Westmount. For more than 7 years I've been marching there. As the other day I marched, of course. Monday again I marched for 3 hours, my special workout and meditation for Alberta. You can see on Facebook. And it's been left decrepit for more than 7 years. It's between 57 the Belvedere and 53 the Belvedere in Westmount, the richest, most affluent neighborhood in Montreal, Hawk Island, which I live in this life, and I was born twice in past lives right in this island, right close to the mountain, once in a past life as a Quebecer pure land when I helped Louis Cyr push some quite a funny memory from a past life, push some horses on the cart with Louis Cyr, and paradoxically due to some strange form of amnesia, I got a strange form of amnesia and neuroplasticity, and I've suffered from in the past from chronic illness. I don't remember much but my life on this island. I don't remember much about youth, adolescence, early childhood, and stuff. I don't remember much, paradoxically more about past lives, and here I am now making a video on YouTube as an independent artist, athlete and activist, willing to love and willing to be loved and willing to do for others. While I admit as a universal spiritual teaching student I'm not perfect, I'm not totally selfless, just for the other, just for the other. I want to be balanced and harmony in the middle. I want to get pleasure, give pleasure, experience eating foods that I never eaten. In this life, go visit the Grand Canyon. In this life, go visit the Grand Canyon. In this life, go visit the Grand Canyon. In this life, go visit the Grand Canyon, which I was there in a past life. Twice in past life, was born after 1776. So when after the Revolutionary War in USA, I served twice in the U.S. Army. Twice I served in the U.S. Army. Twice. Both those lives in the past lives. So I'm speaking also in many ways as a USA fella, an American, although I'm a North American, North strong and free Canadian Quebecer. But I am for North America, and I believe for the 21st century we got to do this integration and implement my Trinity of theories for the creation of two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions. The aforementioned, like I said, Dragon Army, officially North American Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, with the North American Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, aka the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army. To dance for pleasure and purpose, because fundamentally my call for this new institutions and implementing my Trinity of theories is for us to move towards a post-COVID social, economic, philosophical, financial, economic, even psychological and spiritual post-COVID world for pleasure and purpose. For pleasure and purpose. And please increase in hygiene in public. Whoop. See, I opened it by mistake. See, I got some. I'm gonna clean because I charged the last time. I got a little. Look what I got. $1 for Canadian made in Canada by Canadians for Canadians. See, manufactured Burlington, Ontario. I got it was on special. I said, is that for real $1 or is that 10? So that's for real $1 because we ordered so many. So I got one. Canada San. Made in Canada by Canadians for Canadians. For Canadians by Canadians. Canada San. Made in Canada by Canadians for Canadians. So I bought it for $1. I said, see, I refilled this and it's very good. Has a very good antiseptic cleaner. 1 liter. 1 liter is a kilo, so 1,000 milliliters. It's 1 liter. Wow. Effective in destroying harmful bacteria to provide antiseptic cleaning. For personal hand hygiene to help prevent the spread of bacteria. Kills harmful bacteria, germs. Fast acting and quick drying gel. Active ingredient, isopropyl alcohol 75%. Purified water, glycerin, carbon, non-medicinal ingredients. For external use only. So you read the instructions and sanitize, please. Hand hygiene. Oh, thank you, city workers, city workers. See the city workers passing by. As brains and muscle is required. So please, when you step outside, when you go into public, because right now I'm in my underground room office and temple. Right? Philosopher, geopolitical analyst, poet, artist, who's not perfect. But when I step outside, well, as I go later to do a marching in steel-toe boots for Alberta, I have an added dimension, an added responsibility to public hygiene, and if so need be, stay 2 meters away from others. And at all time, defense, defense, defense. I have certain rights and I have certain obligations. I have both. Duties, obligations, responsibilities, and rights and privileges, such as pavement of the road. That is a civilizational privilege. Right? The pavement of the road is a civilizational privilege. The pavement of the road is a civilizational privilege. Right? To go and to go walking. I can dance if I will. I'm free to dance. Free to twerk, free to twerk, free to twerk. Twerking is a dance form and dancing is my favorite art. I'm learning how to twerk. Average, mediocre, so-so. I'm great at the other dance forms, but nonetheless, all dance forms are and XYZ factors, right? But super important to hygiene. I'm gonna touch the screen, maybe go to the bank, see how in the red I am, calculate budget, if I can afford bacon, what can I afford, and I only spending on necessities, right? And I have the responsibility for hygiene, public hygiene, public hygiene, public hygiene. For public hygiene. In my underground room, office, and temple, I can turn everything off now and start dancing naked. Get everything, take my clothes off, put Madonna's music, Tekashi 6ix9ine music, or of course Beyonce music. One of my favorite songs is "Girl Run the World," "Girls Run the World," "Girls Run the World." Right, I can do that, or techno music, soundtrack music, whatever. Right, so I can do that. I can even record it, post it. Right. Please, if you do porn on, you put me on the dark web or whatever, and it's no joke. Without consent, so forbidden. Without consent is forbidden. Without consent is forbidden to do. But please, if you do take my images or whatever with AI, please put me in LGBTQ friendly PR or whatever porn, because maybe for world peace, I wouldn't mind for world peace directing an adult movies. 77. That's it. That's the number. Or 93. Or 156. I'm increasing a bit the quota. Scenes, that is. Scenes. 156 scenes for world peace. LGBTQ friendly. Whatever it is. There you go. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, actors, please. Millionaires, billionaires, finance the farmers of North America a massage therapy sessions. I've been complaining I cannot afford a massage therapy session for 3 years, but I'm grateful I can substitute take a bath, immerse in a bath and feel good, and of course substituted my desires, wills, and lust, if you will, or craving for a massage therapy session. But with the Dragon Army, we can offer that with consent, mutual understanding, and hygiene to all our allies and armies. Pledge your legions, blah 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 blah. So please, multimillionaires, billionaires, finance the farmers first, because everybody got to eat. Civilization requires food and brains and muscle. The building and the maintenance thereof requires brains and muscle. Civilization requires brains and muscle. Civilization requires brains and muscle and food. Food is holy. I'm gonna have some bread, and I'm gonna eat some sardines, which I'm gonna do a test because the sardines, as you'll see at the end of this video, they have passed their best before date, not expiry date, but their best before date. Because when I got them, I got a few sardines that I kept remembering. Remember, if you don't know, that back in October 2019, as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, I've sounded the alarm. And of course, my conclusion was that we, humanity, are again embarked towards an international conflagration. In other words, a World War III. So created, made, and designed and produced my workout training program system, officially titled the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, to go hand in hand with such a scenario, a World War III scenario. Paradoxically, also as a world peace advocate, as an independent fitness captain, and as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist. And before I go into that a bit, because it's parallel to what's going on now, I'm just going to say that, of course, I'm calling on the millionaires and billionaires, artists, athletes in the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, to please mass finance the farmers and the truckers and the nurses and the doctors and the butchers, all involved in production of food. Finance them ASAP this summer, starting this May, massage therapy sessions. First to the farmers because everybody has to eat. Multi-millionaire athletes, NBA makes the most, 7.7 million average salary annually. I love the sport. Dancing is my favorite sport. I love basketball. I love hockey. I love football, gridiron. It's first is dancing, boxing. I love sports. I encourage people to regular physical activity as for the past year it has been. In the past years, it is today, it will be today, and it will be tomorrow. Has been is and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. Just working out. Sometimes it's hard to get into it, and I've been on a few years on a fitness journey, and that's why I have been and will call for the mass financing via public-private partnership to encourage citizens for mass physical activity. It does great wonders for the body, for the mind, for the soul, but sometimes it requires that effort and that pain and that struggle, which I've been through for years. And to losing 77 pounds, I've just feel so much better. Just sometimes it's hard to get that first half an hour, whether you're moody or upset. And my philosophies is no need to repress feelings or aggression. I admit I have aggression, but my brothers and sisters, I channel it. I channel it and sublimate it. I do push ups. I do boxing. I work out. I go on marches so that I harm none. And at all times, 24/7, mutual self defense, defense, defense. As a citizen, part of the North American Civilizational Collective of Canada, Canadian Confederation, and Quebec. Super important to channel and sublimate. One of the mottos of the Dragon Army is we channel and sublimate the aggression with push-ups and hugs. Push-ups and hugs. Give yourselves a hug like you never hugged before today. 20 minutes is a period of hockey. 15 minutes is a period of basketball and NHL and NFL. 20 minutes hug, 15 minutes hug, a good hug like you never hugged before today. Just do it today with consent and hygiene. Don't start hugging people in the streets now, but that would be a good hug. 20 minutes. The whole duration of my dialogue, philosophical discourse lecture, just hug. Hugs I got by the trillions, kisses I got by the trillions. And I'm laying the foundations first and foremost with 718 trillions of kisses, credited from the forgotten goddess who dances with her brother son who got us kiss sent from the goddess above starlit heaven, and that one kiss turned into those trillions of kisses, and some tickles and some brain and some muscle, and my trinity of theories, the CIT, citizen integration theory, the DRT, debt fusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory. That trinity of theories to be implemented via the fourth dimension, LOVE, LOV, love. Love is also action. What can I do for you? For my allies and armies, pledge your allegiance, legions, thou art de facto family. All my allies and armies are de facto my family, or my AAs. Allies and armies are de facto my family. Pledge your allegiance, legions. Calling for all willing, loving, and please finance food security, billionaires, and some massage therapy sessions, because I could do without. I didn't without for many years now, and I live pretty Spartan, pretty austere, and the joy of this cup of coffee. Thank you, farmers and truckers who transported it. And as it is 1:41 p.m. here, calling on all willingly loving to support the implementation of my Trinity of theories via love. Love is also action. If it's not about love, I don't want nothing to do with it. If it's not about love, I don't want nothing to do with it. If it's not about love, I don't want nothing to do with it. Financially struggling, but my rent's paid for May. My electricity bill is paid and got food. May 17th. I'm not perfect, far from it. Suffer some amnesia. I don't remember much about childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, mostly on this island. Why I'm on this island, and my own struggles and sufferings as a chronic illness, which I've healed during COVID. I had COVID, I almost died. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. And working out, training, and exercising, a little bit of joy. I want to bring joy to others. I am writing children's books. Children's books themes are mostly civilization, nature, and physical exercise. Regular physical exercising. stuff like that. Regular physical exercising, things of that nature, which involve my regular fitness activity or whatever have you on the menu, which is in the Lair of the Dragon, rock and roll 24/7, but with some rest on the Sabbath. Calling all willing living to support the implementation of my Trinity of theories, and now we're gonna get into the topic at hand, because that's what we're discussing for this third session, and it is real geopolitics, the real Sino-North American geopolitic memos, and the governance of China. So my brothers and sisters, back in October 2019, yours truly created, made, designed, and produced a workout training program system made to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. You heard that correct. So when I've created it back in October 2019, I've studied, I've analyzed the situation globally, the geopolitical analysis, my geopolitical analysis as an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, and have concluded back then that we humanity are again on a path towards an international conflagration. And so back in October 2019, about 3 months before COVID, before I had COVID early February until mid-February, many ways I did die during COVID. I don't want to turn back to nothing. I just want us to break the impasse and find solutions, such as for myself, coming out of depression and being suicidal, was embarking on a fitness journey and continuing this fitness journey now. And so back then, I've analyzed the situation and I've come to the conclusion that humanity is again set on a path towards an international conflagration, aka a World War III. So I've analyzed the situation and I've come to that conclusion due to several events: the US-China trade war, historical events, events such as Meng Wanzhou situation, which was arrested, detained by the RCMP, the National Police of Canada, to honor an extradition treaty with the United States, other geopolitical events which had transpired, the two Michaels detained in China, Michael Spavor, Michael Kovrig. So these geopolitical events, which triggered the deterioration of Sino-Canadian relations, Sino-American relations, Sino-North American, and Sino-Western relations back in October 2019, mainly the US-China trade war, which began with the Trump administration imposing tariffs on China back in March 2018. So it further escalated, as it is escalating and deteriorating now even more, but back then it already had started. So I'd taken this and I said there's a pattern there that we are again set on a course towards an international conflagration, aka World War III. And so made, created, and produced my workout training program system, which requires no equipment, which was made to go hand in hand with such an event, an international conflagration, a World War III. In other words, a World War III scenario, a World War III scenario. So I've developed it, and of course there's much to it. There's different dimensions, different elements of me as an independent fitness captain, as the creator of what's called the General War Integrated Total Body Training System. 7 words: General War Integrated Total Body Training System. General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, aka the Dragon Army workout, which is simple, effective, and efficient. And it does what it does, my workout. It increases general overall fitness. So it's not meant necessarily for aesthetics, to develop more aesthetic musculars, to, in other words, to look good, right? My workout was developed with a purpose, and the purpose was increasing general overall fitness, strength, agility, cardio, endurance. So that's what my workout is. Simple. Push-ups is one of those workouts, exercises which kind of works out the whole body. Right? So when you do the push-up is one of those exercises which is kind of a total body workout. So you have push-ups, you have squats. So push-ups focuses mostly on the upper body, the chest, the core, and the area of the upper body, while the squats mostly on the lower body. So those complement plus my hocks. When you go on the toes, you can see hundreds of my workout videos. When you go on the toes, the ankles, the feet, and the laterals of the feet, right? The feet, the ankles, and the laterals work out. And the neck, of course. And of course, you have the fourth dimension to that trinity of exercises of push-ups, hocks, and squats. You have, of course, the marching steps, the marching steps, the marching steps. So we integrate the cardio. The rules are simple. There's no pause. One is allocated 93 minutes to do the workout training program. 93 minutes in total. That's an hour and a half and 3 minutes. And once you start the countdown of the 93 minutes, there's no pause, no stop. You got to keep it in motion by marching or jogging or running or walking fast pace, while 13 maximum repetitions with the push-ups, hocks, squats that you do, 13 maximum, 3 minimum. You can do anywhere in between, 7, 6, 9, 10, whatever the number is. So those are the rules. 13 and 3, they go together. 93, 4 main rules, 4 main numbers. 93, 13 and 3, 13, 10 plus 3, 13 and 3, and 31 seconds is minimum requirement of marching or jogging or running or walking fast pace in between those sets. So you can do it within those sets, within those rules. And you can do between 13 and 3 maximum until you get to 100 push-ups, 100 hocks, 100 squats. You can see hundreds of my workout training program videos back in September 2022, last year, a few months ago. I've celebrated my 300th session. That's when I officially said that I changed the A of my surname into an O. So dragon became dragon, dragon became dragon, dragon became dragon. So in other words, one of the mottos of the dragon army is nobody is born a dragon, not even myself, waking up here on this island with amnesia and an artist, athlete, activist, financially struggling, XYZ factors. And a few years ago, I said, well, I got dragon surname. I said, I'm not a dragon, but I'm going to try to become one by effort, by doing, by pain, blood, sweat, and tears. And by blood, sweat, and tears has come from my fitness journey, which I'm grateful for in many ways. And of course, other things such as sexual liberation in the past and now, even people are coming out. You know that there's in the NHL, my brothers, there's part of the LGBTQ community in the NBA, although not even one is out of the closet. Only in the NFL, one. Of course, there are on every team. Statistically, there's one LGBTQ member on each and every team of the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. But I understand money, economic, finance. I myself have lost renewal of contract and economic, financial, commercial opportunity due to being LGBTQ. But I said I came out years ago, and I'd rather be in the open, as I put it, in the public, than being able to have to hide my XYZ, so that I can be. And I call the leaders also, if they have whatever, let's say a leader, if our leader is Prime Minister or Premier Legault or Justin Trudeau, I don't know, once he likes golden showers, or whatever, it happens. He likes golden showers, so what, but it's possible that it's a secret and somebody videotapes whatever XYZ, and from secret services of China, secret services of Russia, whatever, and they're blackmailing my Premier Minister, just Legault or Justin Trudeau, to say, hey, we got to tape you getting golden showers from a prostitute, sex worker, or whatever. So we have these things, which we don't like. It's hard to admit certain things. Like myself, yes, one day out of 7, I don't mind being whipped and for pleasure, to bring pleasure, to be degraded a bit, let's say, or BDSM, what's called BDSM, bondage, domination, sadomasochism, right? Because otherwise, and I call the leaders to do the same in the free world, and if they have whatever it is, so that they not be able to be blackmailed in any way, shape, or form, or blackmailed or whatever have you. Yeah, I got a little tiny androgynous car my I call my little androgynous scar. But sometimes it goes rocket, sometimes it goes rocket, sometimes it goes rocket. Very rarely, but on occasion, once a day, it goes and whatever have you. XYZ factors aside, back in October 2019, I've produced that workout training program, which was created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which I'm calling for the implementation across high schools of North America as young as 7. Could do ev- could be able to do it, I believe, as young as 7. My workout, it requires no equipment. Simple, effective, and efficient. Simple, effective, and efficient. Simple, effective, and efficient. Simple, effective, and efficient. Requires no equipment whatsoever. It is, of course, meant to increase general overall fitness. It is increasing general overall fitness. It is meant to increase general overall fitness, and it does. It has for me. It can for you, and I'm calling for the mass financing of my workout training program across North America. Public-private partnership, calling on the sports leagues, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, to, of course, to mass financing via public-private partnership, as I'm calling my astrological brother Bill Gates, of the Scorpio brother Bill Gates, as a Scorpio brother Bill Gates, and all organizations, public and private governments, organizations, and institutions from North America and even beyond NATO, to support the implementation of my Trinity theories, which I firmly believe can bring some solutions to the table, of break some impasses with all the imperfection that I am and I have. Say I'm a piece of dust as a universal spiritual teaching student. I say the word goddess, goddess, goddess. I got trillions of kisses, but I can be secular, secular, secular. I can be XYZ, rock and roll, rock and roll it, rock and roll it. And of course, I'm not perfect, far from it. And I don't play it self righteous. I don't play it self righteous. And I don't play it self righteous. And I rather put, as I have put in the past, many of the things that I like, whether sexually or things that I am. And I do admit that at some things I am mediocre, at some things I am average, at some things I am so so. While being so so, average and mediocre at some things, average being at some things, mediocre and so so at some things, I am great, super, and excellent at some other things. Perhaps I'm not good at all at penetration, but I'm very good at cunnilingus, super good at cunnilingus. Perhaps I'm not good at penetration, but I'm very good at cunnilingus, and I can serve in that matter. So we complement, we balance, whether psychologically, competencies, sexuality, philosophy, ability. I can cook, I can clean, I can massage, I can wash feet, I can write poetry, write songs, and I can rock and roll, and I can march in steel toe boots, and I can be of service. I can be of service to all my willing, loving allies and armies while pledge your allegiance, legions. While I admit that I'm not perfect, far from it. I got issues, I got some vices, but I balanced. The public-private partnership, I believe, is the way forward for the future, and now we're gonna commence on China. But again, as I'm sending memos and my real and raw, all the philosophical analysis on the current Sino-North American geopolitical events which are transpiring, while I'm not perfect. Calling for all willing, loving to support my Trinity theories, the DRT, debt refusion theory, taking all private and public debt. Refuse it to create the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, preferably by biometrics. The hand, the voice are unique biometric identifiers. And of course, to create what I call the Universal Exchange Unit for North America, NATO, and BIS, maybe Bank of International Settlements, and beyond. Rock and roll. So, memos on China. So, first and foremost, the leaders of the free world, whatever we say on China, I might not. I don't have, first and foremost, I want to say that I do not have any business interest in China or in Russia or East West beyond. I want world peace. I do want world peace. Maybe it's possible world peace. Perhaps I'm a dreamer and I've been a dreamer, while also being part realist, affirming my own nature with my own lower self, the own lower self, and my own aggressions, which I channel and sublimate by doing push-ups, my own XYZ. But nonetheless, on China. I have no business interest in China, no business interest or whatever XYZ outside of North America, outside of Canada, outside of Quebec, and even my island and my underground room of Sun Temple, if you will. As I want to enter into participation, collaboration, and partnership with others in all things that I do, right? It is 1:56 p.m. My brothers, politicians of North America West, you need to take a look and read or check the audiobooks, listen to the audiobooks and meditate on the governance of China. The governance of China are 4 volumes by Xi Jinping. So these 4 volumes are super important. They were transcribed, dictated, written between October 23rd, 2012 and last year, 2022, November 7th or so. So more than 10 years, a little bit more than 10 years, they were developed, written, or transcribed orally by Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping being the leader of China, being the leader of China, Xi Jinping. So why you have to understand this? Because Xi Jinping has entered his 3rd term, for another 6 years plus 6 plus another 6, so it's going to be leader for the coming 5 years or so. Since last year, November, he was re-elected as leader, so I believe it's a 6-year term. But nonetheless, the philosophies, the ideologies, the dogma, the policies, and everything that concerns China is embodied in that 4 volume. There's volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, 4 volumes called The Governance of China. Governance of China, volume 1, Governance of China, volume 2, Governance of China, volume 3, and volume 4. So Xi Jinping describes what they will to build and what they have built, which is a socialist spiritual civilization or socialism with Chinese characteristics, right? So socialism with Chinese characteristics. We have to understand this. And that's embodied in the philosophy as a summary of all the philosophies in the 4 volumes. If I can summarize what it is, it's called Socialism with Chinese Characteristics. And in the volumes, Governance of China, you find, what do you find there? The relation to Marxism, to communism, Marxist-Leninism. It's clearly stated we're a Marxist party. The Chinese Communist Party is a Marxist party, just like I state and have stated in the past years during COVID that I'm a pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrism, meaning my universal revolutionary centrism for the regeneration, rejuvenation, defense of the collective North American civilization for a public-private partnership is based on my trinity of theories, the CIT, citizen integration theory, the DRT, debt fusion theory, and the DFT, the democratic fusion theory. That trinity of theories to be via the 4th dimension implemented. And that 4th dimension is love. Love is also action. That is my philosophies, my policies, my theories. Xi Jinping's theories for China, as mine are for the collective North American civilization, and even for NATO member countries, if you will, for NATO member countries, NATO, what we call the collective West, if you will. Are embodied in my trinity of theories. But the governance of China has to be read, whether by the politicians, whether by the security services, which are involved in knowing whether there has been Chinese interference in the election, with the ongoing sphere of the supposed Chinese police stations, right? And XYZ. Now, whatever I may say on China, like I said, I have no business interest. I will for us, perhaps, to move towards a peaceful resolution of the current impasse. Perhaps it's too late for that. We are going to have to either just part ways, if you will, and focus more on the internal development of our own civilizational spheres, such as the North American Civilizational Collective and their what they're building in China is a Chinese, what they call spiritual, socialist spiritual civilization. Also, that's used. A spiritual, socialist, spiritual, like spiritual civilization, a socialist spiritual civilization, or Chinese socialism, or socialism with Chinese characteristics. And all that with its substracts and its policies are embodied in the governance of China. And one of the main ideals or goals the Chinese dream is what Xi Jinping refers and repeats in the governance of China as the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, of the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, of the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Now we have a contrast here because our North American collective civilization were more multi-plural and multilinguistic, right? We made the compromise of the French language more than 156 years ago, myself as a Quebecer, Canadian North American. We have those distinctions. So our collective North American civilization is more diverse in many ways and respects than Chinese civilization. And there's contrasts, right? Not contrasts, it could be summarized as maybe China is more towards the group, the collective, while North Americans, even in the West, were more towards the individual. And it's always a fine line to find a balance, right, between the individual and the group and the collective. And it has been worked over decades, the 20th century. There's been conflict, bloodshed, and tears to reach that compromise and that balance, right? Whether socially, financially, economically, spiritually, in XYZ. And myself as a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, a great transformation, great change. I don't want to go back to nothing pre-COVID, right? I want us to move forward. Public-private partnership for the 21st century, for defense only of North America, security and service, for security and service, for security and service. One of my philosophies, that the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. And how do we invest in the body? By working out, training, and by exercising. By working out, training, and by exercising. By working out, training, and exercising. Working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice. I cannot stress enough the importance of regular physical exercise, of regular physical exercise. Super important. Look, I've lost 77 pounds and it does great wonders. I created my own workout training program system, which is simple, effective, and efficient. I'm looking for volunteers to build the Dragon Army, Dragon Workout app, and for us to heal, to regenerate, to rejuvenate in North America, in the collective North American civilization. We may compromise on the French language, right? We speak Spanish. I learned some Spanish because I love Spanish, and my neighbors in my corner, I have Mexican neighbors. I have my black brothers and sisters who are of color, black, to the right, to the left, French Canadians, and in front, Mexicans. So just in my neighborhood, it reflects that diversity of North America, right? Which is contrasted with China, right? Because China is 93.7, what they consider themselves to be ethnic Han Chinese. Now, myself, I do believe that we are a human race. I do believe we're one human race, but we have these civilizational distinctions, cultural, linguistic, right? Which don't have to be in conflict. Compromises can be made for world peace and for development, and we have been making great progress. But now in the past years, there has been a trend towards another international conflagration, a world war, in other words, right? And it's always the tensions which arise from XYZ factors, whether social, cultural, and there is, right? There is. We got to channel it and understanding and then making compromise. Whatever can we bring to the table, whatever we cannot or will try or do XYZ, an effort. It requires constant effort. Here I'm a philosopher, geopolitical analyst, independent geopolitical analyst and theorist who's not perfect, far from it, and I don't know it all. I have my own imperfections, my own flaws, my own little quirks. But I am for the greater good. I am for the greater good. I am for the greater good. While I also want to afford once full moon or maybe every week a massage therapy session, but with the Dragon Army to be able to offer those services. With the massage services, with the washing of the feet, with the cooking, cleaning, and encouraging in the coming 7 years Hydro-Quebec to build 7 more dams across this La Belle Province, right? Because it's super important, right? Super important for us to try to work together in whatever shape or form and to balance our natures, our philosophies, our knowledge, our desires, our wills, right? Because we have them. We have wills that are perhaps not necessarily easily expressed, certain things that are not easily admitted. But back to the governance of China. This is the main document which has to be studied, read, and try to be understood. Would perhaps bias, would perhaps certain bias, because of course there are things which are perhaps required which we are not easily to be able to maneuver from our understanding of it. But the governance of China, that's a memo to the governments, to Trudeau, to Biden, to the powers, to the security service, to the NATO generals, and to all involved in policies. And the governance of China has to be read, has to be studied a bit, has to be understood. That's one of the main memos which I'm sending to my brother citizen Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, brother citizen Premier Minister of Quebec Francois Legault, my brother citizen President Joe Biden. Scorpio. It's like Bill Gates. So to understand that, governments of China and the policies, the philosophy, Xi Jinping's the leader of China, who has been the leader for a decade now, and who will be is the leader today and will be in the coming years. Xi Jinping, governance of China, the governance of China, the governance of China, the governance of China has to be understood, has to be read, has to be meditated upon, analyzed, for us to understand what we're dealing with, what we're dealing with, what we're dealing with, and to how to see if and how we can break the impasse. Because whatever we say on China, whether we like the Chinese Communist Party, whether we like Xi Jinping or not, whatever biases we might have, the fact is that what they have been building and doing in the past since 1984, socialism with Chinese characteristics, it has worked for them. Just like my workout has been working out for me, their system in China has worked for them. Bottom line, we can get philosophical, we can get whatever ego, whatever things we have in our minds or lack thereof or whatever. But my brothers, leaders of the free world, NATO, North Americans, their system, which has been since 1984 developed, called Chinese or socialism with Chinese characteristics, has worked for them. Has worked for them. They built mega cities, mass urbanization never seen before in history. Mega cities, mega ports, 7 if not 8, maybe even 8, I'm sure 7, maybe even 8 now. Ports of the top 10 biggest ports in the world are in China. More than half. 7, I believe even 8 out of the top 10. Mega ports, mega cities, mega infrastructure, mega bridges, and high tech to incorporate with high tech since 1984. And in the past, since 2007, after the Olympics 2008 came in China. They were able to do this. Their system has worked for them. We have to understand that. with how we criticize their system, their internal affairs, socialism with Chinese characteristic, communism, one party state, one party state, one party state, but their system has worked for them. It's like my workout system has worked for me during COVID, losing weight, getting fit. That their system, my workout system has worked and is working for me. Their socialism with Kendrick says has worked for them. Other things don't work for me that good. My little tiny androgynous kid, now it's getting better. Now it's getting better. Now it's getting better. Sometimes rocket. But also workout, train, exercise, and chili muli, some chili muli. But nonetheless, their system has worked for them, right? It has worked for them. Bottom line, they're building socialism with Chinese characteristics, and they're building the spiritual civilization, socialist spiritual civilization, socialist spiritual civilization, socialist spiritual civilization that they're building in China. That's their goal. Rejuvenation of the great Chinese nation, and Xi Jinping taught, embodied in the governance of China. So if you want to understand it, to know it, we have to read it. And I've been listening to audiobooks. I've commenced years ago, so I'm familiar with it. I'm getting again familiarized with it again in the past days and weeks and months due to growing tensions ever more. The paradox of Taiwan. Taiwan is officially called the Republic of China, while mainland China is called the People's Republic of China, right? So all these, they have to be understood, right? They have to be understood. And how much understanding we can possess is also limited in many ways. Right? It's also because of the culture, our experiences as North Americans, and our lack of further in-depth knowledge thereof. But their system has worked for them. Their system has worked for them. That is another memo. Socialism with Chinese characteristics has worked for the People's Republic of China. That's it, that's all. There's no argument there to try to, yeah, but their system, socialism with Chinese characteristics, has worked for the People's Republic of China. That's it, that's all. There's no XYZ factors. There's no talks of decolonizing China in China. There's no talks of decolonizing China in China. There's no talks of decolonizing China in China. Bottom line, no arguing with this. No, yeah, but socialism with Chinese characteristics has worked for China. Just my workout program system has worked for me. Maybe my little androgynous car works only once in a while on occasion. Rocket ICBM, but very rarely. It's tiny. You know something about me now. You know my weakness. You know my weakness now. Now you know. Now you know. You can gossip. Right? Rainbow Dragon has a tiny. Yeah, but sometimes it grows on occasion, rarely. It's strokey. Working on it. God is blessed. It's growing. Late, but better late than never. Better late than never. But I'm good at other things. Massaging and rock and roll and geopolitical analysis and philosophy. I'm top. Super. I can analyze, dissect geopolitical events, the civilizational spheres, and the internal affairs, and the interaction between nation states and ideological dogma or philosophical stances and policies. Super good. Great, excellent. Beyond, very good. Super and excellent. Geopolitical analysis, such as I have proof of that. Now, again, socialism with Chinese characteristics has worked since 1984 for the People's Republic of China. It might, there's no, yeah, but there's no arguing with that. There's no way around that. We have to face it, whether we're on the left, on the right, or in the center. Whether we are on the left, on the right, or in the center, or in the center, or on the right, or on the left, we have to face that fact and that truth. Socialism with Chinese characteristics has worked for the People's Republic of China. They built mega cities, mega infrastructure, mega ports, technologically integrated, built top producing in so many things from food products to melons to so many crops, and others became number one since 1984 and so many things, mass producing. So we have to face that. How we deal with the future from today, May 17th, tomorrow, and the policies we implement. I believe my trinity of theories for creating two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, North American citizen integrated social security and service and defense, based on my philosophies such as the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose, and we need public-private partnerships for building infrastructure in North America, building more public transit integrated across North America, more tourism, more fitness for wellness and for the rebirth and regeneration and coalescence for the 21st century of the collective North American civilization, aka the North American civilizational complex. As we are a new, emergent civilizational complex, we are the newest in North America. We are the newest. We are 20th and 21st century. Because in about the Second World War, the collective North American civilizational complex has started to emerge with Quebec, Canada, United States, and Mexico, and of course the islands. In Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and Bahamas. So constitute a collective North American civilization. So we're going to switch to some French. So memos. I sent some memos. Brief, pretty direct, pretty straightforward. You got to read and understand the governance of China if you want to furthermore have a more in-depth comprehension and analysis and a more in-depth understanding of China, socialism with Chinese characteristics, of the People's Republic of China, if you are to understand. Those are main memos, and to read the governance of China or listen to the audiobooks of governance of China and their dreams and aspirations and their philosophies and their theories, part of the Xi Jinping thought, 4 volumes, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, called The Governance of China. So those volumes have to be studied, understood, and to know and whether to set policies and course of action for today and for tomorrow. Governance of China, socialism with Chinese characteristics has worked for China, and of course, just like my workout training program system has worked for me, and I believe my policies, my trinity of theories can work for the rejuvenation, rebirth, pleasure, and purpose, and defense coast to coast, because to the east we got the Atlantic, to the west we got the Pacific, and for the wellness and healing and transformation of the collective North American civilization, aka the North American civilizational complex, as a public-private partnership creating two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the Dragon Army, officially the North American Citizen Integrated Defense only non-interventionist security service and security and emergency response Dragon Army with the North American Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Army, this army for pleasure and purpose, pleasure to dance, purpose for the environment, to plant more trees, to applaud and dance for those who plant trees, to dance for our farmers, to dance for our truckers, to dance for our firefighters, to dance for our public security workers, to dance for all the workers of the collective North American civilization and for the defense of North America and for world peace, for that matter, for world peace. But I'm a North American Canadian and encourage you all to work out, train, exercise, and read the governance of China is my call to all politicians and leaders. So those are the few memos that I've sent to the powers that be as an independent philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist who's not perfect, far from it, androgynous, pansexual, not without vices, not without, not without faults, not without lusts, which I channel and sublimate. I channel and sublimate. Channeling and sublimating are two key words of my philosophies. Two key words: channeling and sublimating. I want to see our youth, which I love, love, love the youth. I want to see them prosperous, joyous, happy, wellness for the youth. I want to see them dance more, hug more, of course, within themselves with consent. And I want to see a happy youth, North American happy youth, joyous youth, the joy of everything that we have with a play, purpose and play, and security, liberty, ensuring liberty and freedom, which is got it tattooed here, but it's not always easy to attain, and it is a work in progress, right? To secure and to share more. If we have millionaires and billionaires, mass finance, fitness, food security, and let's paint some of these gray buildings in North America, paint them some rainbow, paint them some color. Some of them are too gray. Have to put some color, more colorful, to affirm 21st century. Not so that we North American civilizational citizens of the North American civilizational complex or North Americans, but become more free. And freedom has to be ensured, right? And to heal, I've done a lot of healing myself, and we need a lot of healing. And I believe my universal revolutionary centrism and the implementation of my trinity of theories, the CIT citizen integration theory, the DRT debt fusion theory, and the DFT democratic fusion theory are what's best at this moment in time where we are in this 21st century for the creation of the Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, and for this public-private partnership for the Phoenix People's Party and the Global Dragon Union to rebirth, relaunch, and regenerate North America. Regenerate North America. Just like Xi Jinping wants the rejuvenation of the great Chinese nation, so myself as a North American, Canadian, Quebecer, who I do not consider myself a member of a diaspora. Myself, I do not see myself or consider myself as a member of a diaspora. I do not see myself or consider myself a member of a diaspora. As a universal spiritual teaching student, I was born in many past lives, many incarnations from ancient Egypt, thousands of years ago, to ancient India, ancient Babylon, ancient Rome, and right here on this island as a Quebecer Pure Land was born in the past, and right now as a North American Canadian, founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream manifesting. For the rejuvenation, regeneration, and pleasure and purpose of the collective North American civilization. And we're gonna switch to some French. I want to express my gratitude. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, public security workers, firefighters, electricians, plumbers, artists like myself who are not millionaires. If you're a millionaire artist, give to food security, please charity, and finance the Dancing Goddess Army and the Global Dragon Union and the Dragon Army. If you're financially, economically, commercially struggling artist, athlete like myself, an activist, or else then thank you, truckers, truckers, truckers. Let's do a meditation on the truckers of North America, from Mexico, Canada, US, going from Canada, US, Mexico, and vice versa. The integrated highways, right? We can go in from Montreal, we can drive all the way to Mexico City and all the way to Mexico. We have that integration to the railway workers on the trains, freight trains, passenger trains, bus drivers, public transit workers, those in the subway, metro system, metro system, underground, railways, and truckers and nurses, and those preparing a food, a bagel, a cheeseburger, a hamburger, fries, coffee, in the fast food restaurants, maybe for a trucker, maybe for a nurse, those involved in the preparation of food. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Rock and roll for you. All the general workers of the collective North American civilization, as yours truly has put in more philosophical, artistic, intellectual, physical work than all the generals of NATO combined. During COVID, I've marched more than the generals of NATO in steel-toe boots. Yours truly, independent citizen, artist, athlete, and activist, philosopher, have marched in steel-toe boots more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID. I've marched in steel-toe boots more than the generals of NATO combined in steel-toe boots during COVID. And I'm not perfect, far from it. It's blessing the farmers, those collecting wheat, grains, potatoes, rutabagas, cheeseburgers, doing a hamburger, raising the cattle for a dairy farm, all the products, farming products. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Farmers, all farmers of North America, those involved in growing tomatoes, potatoes, beans, legumes, fruits, whatever it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Food and brains and muscle has been required and will be required for the maintenance of civilization as it was for the building of civilization. And now we're gonna go from French. Bienvenue dans la grotte du dragon arc-en-ciel. On va discuter pour la troisième fois mes mémos que j'envoie pour nos chefs concernant la situation géopolitique avec la Chine. Votre artiste, athlète indépendant, dragon arc-en-ciel qui est poète le plus qui danse. Je vous encourage tous et toutes à faire de l'entraînement physique régulièrement. L'entraînement physique sera ma médecine et thérapie de choix. Faites un couple de pompes, allez pour une marche, allez pour une course. L'entraînement physique, je le répète dans le passé puis maintenant aujourd'hui, c'est vraiment, vraiment un ingrédient important pour la vie saine, pour la santé mentale, la santé physique. Je ne vais pas le dire comment ça fait du bien, juste faire l'entraînement physique. Ça a pris un couple d'années, j'ai perdu 77 livres. J'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique qui ne requiert aucun équipement, qui est facile à faire, qui n'est pas facile plus ou moins. Au début, ça va prendre l'effort, mais c'est facile vu que ça ne requiert ni d'argent, ni un accès à un gymnase, puis ça ne requiert aucun équipement. C'est juste le corps. Faire des pompes, des squats, puis vous pouvez voir plus que 350 systèmes d'entraînement que j'ai fait, que j'ai composé moi-même en octobre 2019. Je l'ai créé. C'est un paradoxe parce que la création de mon système d'entraînement physique, qui a un grand titre, mais on peut l'appeler simplement l'entraînement du dragon. Puis vous pouvez voir comment je le fais moi-même plus que 300 fois, plus que 350. Ça ne requiert aucun équipement, puis je fais appel pour l'intégration de cet exercice pour qu'il fasse aussi jeune que 7 ans. Je pense que depuis 7 ans, à peu près 7 ans, ça pourrait aller dans les écoles, dans première année jusqu'au secondaire. Ça pourrait être un système d'entraînement qui pourrait être intégré dans les écoles à travers l'Amérique du Nord, soit à travers le collectif de suggestions nord-américains en tant que nord-américain, canadien, québécois, philosophe, artiste indépendant, que je propose la trinité de théories, soit la théorie d'intégration citoyenne, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de fusion démocratique pour créer les deux institutions de partenariat public-privé, que je fais appel à tous et toutes à la maintenance puis à l'implémentation de cette trinité de théories qui s'appelle la théorie de l'intégration citoyenne, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, puis la théorie de la fusion démocratique. Cette trinité de théories avec la quatrième dimension. La quatrième dimension, c'est l'amour. Parce que s'il n'y a pas d'amour, je veux rien savoir. Rien savoir, c'est l'amour, ça prend de l'action constante. C'est une action qui requiert l'amour. C'est de l'action aussi. Je peux avoir de l'amour. Je suis pas parfait, tu sais, jouer au simple, tout ça. Non. Je suis pansexuel. Je suis androgyne. J'ai mes petits défauts, puis je l'admets. Dans certaines choses, je suis médiocre. Dans certaines choses, je suis comme ci, comme ça. Dans certaines choses, je suis pas bon. Pas bon dans certaines choses, comme ci, comme ça. Médiocre dans certaines choses, en étant médiocre dans certaines choses. Pas bon dans d'autres choses, comme ci, comme ça. En étant comme ci, comme ça, moyen, pas bon. Je suis super, excellent et très bon en analyse géopolitique, l'entraînement physique, un peu de boxe, la danse. Ça danse dans ma grotte du dragon comme nulle part dans le monde. Ça danse, ça danse, ça danse. Puis, ça chante. Les chansons sont en guitare. Je vous aime. Merci. Je vais dire mes remerciements aux fermiers de la belle province pour les patates, pour le pain, les boulangers, pour les produits laitiers, parce que j'ai un peu de lait qui me reste. Puis tous les produits, tous les fermiers, parce que tout le monde, il faut qu'on mange. La nourriture, c'est un ingrédient principal, super important pour bâtir la civilisation, la maintenance de la civilisation, que c'est un privilège. La civilisation est un privilège. Hein? Tous les travailleurs de l'Hydro-Québec, regardez, mon café, je le chauffe grâce aux 63 centrales qui ont été bâties depuis 1944 à maintenant. Puis j'encourage Hydro-Québec, puis j'offre, je mets sur sa table des chatouilles, des milliards, des bisouz, des milliards, puis des câlins, des milliards, puis avec du rock'n'roll, des chansons, puis avec go, 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 des applaudissements, pour qu'ils me construisent dans les 7 prochaines années 7 autres centrales. Je vais voir 70. Dans 7 prochaines années, construire 70 centrales de l'Hydro-Québec est un de mes rêves. C'est un de mes rêves. C'est un privilège, la civilisation. Hein? C'est un constant travail. Un constant travail. Je ne suis pas parfait, loin de là. J'ai souffert, j'étais en dépression. J'ai conquis la dépression, j'ai conquis la dépression, j'ai conquis la dépression. Je m'en souviens pas bien de la jeunesse, l'adolescence, l'âge adulte, je m'en souviens. L'amnésie. Je m'en souviens de l'île, sur l'île de Montréal, en tant qu'athlète, athlète artiste, philosophe. Eu mes souffrances, mes luttes, mes batailles. Puis j'étais un centriste. Je pense vraiment qu'un partenariat public-privé pour le Québec, Confédération canadienne, pour le que j'appelle dans ma thèse puis ma philosophie le collectif de civilisation nord-américaine. Parce que d'où en Amérique du Nord, on a fait le grand compromis linguistique sur le français, en tant que compositeur de poèmes, puis de poésie, puis chansons rock'n'roll en français. Je trouve qu'on doit être pour la défense d'un côte à côte, océan à l'océan, parce qu'à l'est, c'est l'Atlantique, puis à l'ouest, c'est le Pacifique. Hein? Puis sur l'île de Montréal, la métropole, 2,5 millions, je chauffe mon café, puis maintenant, grâce à l'électricité de l'Hydro-Québec, qui provient d'une de ces centrales, les 63 centrales, qui ont été bâties par du cerveau, puis des muscles, parce que ça en prend du cerveau, puis des muscles, la maintenance de la civilisation, puis maintenant augmenter la civilisation, puis maintenant qu'on travaille vers l'harmonie entre la nature, la civilisation puis la nature. Puis je pense que mes propositions, mes projets, mes initiatives, mes théories vont faire un pas, créer 2 institutions de partenariat public-privé pour le 21e siècle, pour l'Amérique du Nord, seulement pour la défense, la sécurité, puis le service avec consentement et entente mutuelle, hygiène, que ce soit des massages, des lavages de pieds, la cuisine, avec consentement, hygiène, tous les services. Consentement, hygiène, ça fait mal à personne, même que moi, de temps en temps, avec consentement, j'aime ça la BDSM, ça de masochisme, si vous voulez, j'aime ça me faire fouetter, puis de temps en temps pour le plaisir, mais c'est des choses qu'on a, la liberté sexuelle, le plaisir du corps. Le corps, c'est un temple pour donner puis offrir du plaisir. Je ne suis pas parfait, loin de là, en tant que guide spirituel universel. Le bleu ciel, c'est un temple Si je veux bâtir un temple, c'est le temple de la déesse oubliée sur l'île, sur le Mont-Royal, l'île de Montréal. Puis, ça, je peux être bien laïque, je peux être bien laïque, je peux être bien laïque, mais j'ai des questions spirituelles. Je médite. Le soleil est mon pape c'est le soleil, mon pape c'est le soleil. J'étais un septième comédien, j'aime ça faire la comédie de temps en temps. Même s'il y a des choses qui sont sérieuses dans la vie, comme la chose, j'aime ça. Le plaisir, le bon vivant, j'essaie d'être bon vivant. J'ai été en dépression. J'étais en dépression suicidaire, dépressif suicidaire. Un couple d'années, j'ai conquis la dépression. Faire l'entraînement physique. Je vous encourage tous et toutes, puis je fais appel à un partenariat public-privé à travers l'Amérique du Nord pour le financement. On finance, on encourage les gens à faire l'entraînement physique régulièrement. C'est un travail constant. C'est un travail constant de faire l'entraînement physique. Des fois, ça prend de l'effort. Encourager les gens, les jeunes, vous voulez faire des pompes, l'exercice. Applaudissez-les, encouragez-les. Fassent l'exercice physique. Donnez-leur un câlin. Un gros câlin comme jamais avant. Moi aussi, maintenant, j'ai besoin d'un gros câlin, comme 20 minutes, une période d'hockey. 3 périodes, 3 fois 20, 60 minutes, c'est 1 heure. On veut un câlin quand vous entendez votre dragon arc-en-ciel parler, mais vous pouvez m'entendre, c'est pas nécessaire de me regarder. Je vais juste vous donner un câlin avec consentement, puis avec. Commencez pas à commencer à donner des câlins sans consentement, sans demander si tu veux-tu un câlin. Des fois, je discute avec des citoyens sur la rue, tu veux-tu un câlin? Il dit non, mais c'est non. Tu sais, c'est un compromis. Je suis pas parfait, loin de là. Tu sais, jouer au simple, tout ça. Je veux aussi me permettre d'avoir du bacon, quelque chose de plus grand que ma grotte de dragon arc-en-ciel pour avoir les portes ouvertes. Je peux vous laver les pieds, je peux vous chatouiller, je peux vous donner des câlins, je peux vous chanter, on peut faire de l'entraînement physique, puis philosopher, mais faire, puis prendre l'action. Parce que l'action, ça a été requise dans ma guérison, me guérir, transformer moi-même. Fois, c'est l'encouragement. Mais je discute la gouvernance de la Chine. Pour comprendre la Chine, puis je veux dire directement, mes frères et sœurs québécois, québécoises, nord-américains, que n'importe qu'est-ce qu'on va dire, la Chine, l'intervenance, qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant, avec la situation, détérioration de nos relations sino-canadiennes, sino-nord-américaines, sino-occidentales, sino-SINO pour décrire la Chine en tant que complexe de civilisation, parce que la Chine c'est une civilisation. Je veux dire directement que nous, comme nord-américains, comme qu'est-ce que ça a fonctionné pour nous, qu'est-ce que ça ne fonctionne plus pour nous, comme pour moi, qu'est-ce que ça fonctionne, l'entraînement physique, ça marche pour moi, ça fonctionne, ça me sens bien après faire l'entraînement physique, durant l'entraînement. Des fois, c'est plus difficile. Mon système d'entraînement physique, ça a fonctionné pour moi, ça a marché pour moi. L'Hydro-Québec, ça a marché pour le Québec, ça marche pour le Québec. Certains systèmes fonctionnent plus ou moins, XYZ. Right? En tant qu'androgène pansexuel philosophe, j'ai un petit, mais des fois, de temps en temps, rocket up, grandis un peu même. Même si je suis pas si bon, je suis médiocre dans certaines choses, je suis comme ça dans d'autres choses. Je suis bon, super, excellent. Lavage de pieds, massage, cuisine, rock'n'roll, philosophie et analyse en géopolitique. En tant qu'analyste en géopolitique indépendant, je suis super et excellent, plus que pas moyen. Excellent analyste en géopolitique. Super bon. Je peux analyser en la géopolitique d'une manière très efficace, très profondément. Même avec un pas tout à fait complète, parce que je suis nord-américain, canadien, québécois, mais je peux quand même très bon, d'une manière très bonne. Puis, pour comprendre la Chine moderne, il faut vraiment lire, écouter, sinon les livres sur YouTube, qu'est-ce que Xi Jinping appelle la gouvernance de la Chine. C'est 4 volumes qui ont été composés depuis octobre 23 2012 jusqu'à l'année passée 2022, en novembre 7, pendant une dizaine d'années. Volume numéro 1 de la gouvernance de la Chine, le volume numéro 2 de la gouvernance de la Chine, volume numéro 3, gouvernance de la Chine, volume numéro 4. Il y a 4 volumes par Xi Jinping. 4 volumes, il faut que nos premiers ministres, nos services de sécurité, tout le monde lise un peu puis comprenne. Pour comprendre. Puis comprendre, puis il faut le dire directement des fois. Faut c'est mieux être direct puis simple. Des fois, des choses plus complexes. Mais mes frères et sœurs, Québécois, Québécoises, Canadiens, Nord-Américains qui parlent le français, le système qu'eux autres ils appellent, la Chine appelle, puis Xi Jinping appelle, le socialisme avec des caractéristiques chinoises, parce que leur système, on peut faire un résumé, on résume en tant que socialisme avec caractéristiques chinoises, si on fait un résumé en général de leur système, c'est un socialisme avec caractéristiques chinoises, qui est bâti depuis 1984, plus que quasiment 4 décennies maintenant. T'sais? Donc, ce système, il a fonctionné pour eux autres. Ça a fonctionné pour eux autres. Ça a fonctionné. Ça a fonctionné pour eux. Pour la République populaire de la Chine. Pour la République populaire de la Chine. Ça a fonctionné pour la République populaire de la Chine. Il faut comprendre ça. Ça serait du Premier ministre, service de sécurité, non, service d'intelligence. Il faut comprendre. N'importe qu'est-ce qu'on dit, si on n'aime pas ou pas, si on est de la droite, de la gauche ou du centre en tant que centriste universel révolutionnaire, que je suis centriste révolutionnaire universel, un centriste révolutionnaire universel. C'est ça que je suis, un centriste universel révolutionnaire. Mon universalisme révolutionnaire est que je crois tout à fait en ma trinité de théories, sur la théorie de l'intégration citoyenne, la théorie de la réfusion de la dette et la théorie de la fusion démocratique. Pour un partenariat public-privé pour l'Amérique du Nord ou le collectif de civilisation nord-américain, que j'appelle en tant que philosophe. Mais il faut comprendre aussi que la Chine, ils ont construit, ont bâti des méga-cités, des méga-villes, une urbanisation comme jamais dans l'histoire de l'humain. Des villes urbaines, 21e siècle, massives de Mars. L'infrastructure de Mars, les ports, pas le port le cochon, mais comme les P-O-R-T, pas P-O-R-C, mais P-O-R-T, comme le port de Montréal, où il y a la cargaison, les bateaux qui viennent, 7, puis non 8 peut-être, même 7, je suis sûr, mais peut-être 8, je suis sûr 7, les ports 10, les 10 plus grands ports du monde pour le transport des bateaux, c'est en Chine. C'est en Chine, wow! Les infrastructures, les trains, les ponts, l'infrastructure depuis 1984, méga ville, méga cité, méga urbanisation, ça a fonctionné pour eux. Il faut comprendre ça. Quand nous, on veut le changement, whatever, qu'est-ce qu'on dit? Il faut comprendre ça. Puis il faut y faire face. Il faut y faire face. Il faut y faire face. Le système que la Chine y ont construit puis ont bâti, soit qu'on appelle en résumé le socialisme, eux autres qui appellent en résumé le socialisme avec caractéristiques chinois, il a fonctionné pour la Chine. Pour eux autres, leur système il a fonctionné. Comme pour moi, mon système d'entraînement physique, durant la COVID, ça a fonctionné pour moi, en tant que citoyen, philosophe, athlète, artiste, analyste en géopolitique indépendant, rock'n'roller, du rock'n'roll de chez nous pour la belle province, pour la Renaissance. Comme ça a fonctionné pour moi, mon système d'entraînement, puis d'autres choses, ma thérapie, médecine, qui est l'entraînement physique, admettre certaines choses, que je ne suis pas parfait, j'ai des défauts dans ci, puis ça, puis ma nature, puis faire un compromis, l'individu, le collectif, qu'est-ce que moi j'amène sur la table, qu'est-ce que moi je mets sur la table, qu'est-ce que toi tu peux mettre sur la table pour Québec, la renaissance du Québec, de la belle province, la renaissance de la Confédération canadienne, puis la renaissance, puis l'Union, pour le collectif de civilisation nord-américain, dont on a fait le compromis du français il y a longtemps. Puis on continue aujourd'hui, puis on va le continuer aujourd'hui en faisant ma part pour le français, par mes philosophies, mon rock'n'roll, en mettant du français sur YouTube, sur Facebook, puis X, Y, Z. Puis je veux voir construire encore 7 centrales pour qu'on se rende à 70 centrales dans les 7 prochaines années. C'est ça que je veux pour le Québec, le Canada et l'Amérique du Nord. Xi Jinping, c'est le leader, chef de la Chine, de la République populaire chinoise. Moi, mon frère citoyen Justin Trudeau, frère citoyen M. Legault, frère citoyen Joe Biden, frère citoyen président du Mexique, Lopez, travaille avec eux, puis avec vous, pour l'implémentation de ma trinité de théorie. Mais le système en Chine, qu'on résume par ces mots-là, socialisme avec caractéristiques chinois, puis il faut comprendre la politique, puis la philosophie qui est détaillée dans le livre La gouvernance de la Chine. Il faut comprendre, il faut le lire, puis là on va comprendre plus. La gouvernance de la Chine. Les 4 volumes. La gouvernance de la Chine. Puis directement, n'importe qu'est-ce qu'on dit, qu'on soit conservateur, libéral, NDP ou centriste, le système que les autres y appellent en Chine, les chefs de la Chine, Xi Jinping le leader, socialisme avec caractéristiques chinois, il a fonctionné pour la République populaire de la Chine. Il n'y a pas d'argument, il n'y a pas de ben oui, mais non. Il a fonctionné pour eux autres. Pour eux autres, leur système qu'ils ont créé, qu'ils ont fait, mes frères et sœurs québécois, québécoises, qu'on dise mais oui, mais, et puis, et ci, puis ça. Oubliez ça. Plus direct, plus direct. Le système, il a fonctionné pour eux. Ça a fonctionné. Hein? Pour les autres, ça a fonctionné. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez que je vous dise? Leur système, il a fonctionné pour eux autres. Directement, simplement. Même que je peux faire une analyse en profondeur, plus détaillée, plus complexe. Oui. Mais en résumé, mon analyse, ça peut se résumer en ça. Que leur système, le système de la République populaire de la Chine, qui en résumé se dit comme le socialisme avec caractéristiques chinois, ça fonctionnait pour eux autres. Ça fonctionnait pour eux autres. Ça fonctionnait pour eux autres. Ça fonctionnait pour eux. Mon système d'entraînement, ça fonctionnait pour moi. Des choses fonctionnent comme ci, comme ça, mais d'autres choses fonctionnent bien. Plus ou moins, puis on peut s'améliorer. On peut faire mieux. On peut faire mieux aujourd'hui que demain, qu'hier. On peut faire mieux aujourd'hui qu'hier. Right? On peut faire mieux aujourd'hui qu'hier. Puis pour demain, on peut faire mieux aujourd'hui qu'hier, puis pour demain. On peut faire mieux aujourd'hui qu'hier, puis pour demain. Puis j'y crois à ma trinité de théories, la sainte trinité que j'appelle. C'est une théorie philosophique, géopolitique pour l'Amérique du Nord. Parce que moi, je veux voir la renaissance, le plaisir, la santé du collectif de civilisation nord-américain. Nous, Québécois, Québécoises, Canadiens, États-Unis jusqu'au Mexique. Parce qu'on forme un collectif de civilisation qui a commencé à émerger depuis à peu près la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, puis qui émerge maintenant. La plus nouvelle, 2 océans, le côte, à l'est c'est l'Atlantique, à l'ouest c'est le Pacifique. Puis, il faut comprendre puis lire la gouvernance de la Chine, ou qui fait référence au marxisme. Il dit clairement, on est un parti marxiste. Karl Marx, le communisme socialiste, qui a été essayé pendant le 20e siècle. On peut commencer à discuter de Karl Marx, né du communisme, du socialisme. Je suis un centriste universel. Je crois au partenariat public-privé pour le 21e siècle. Avoir certaines sécurités sociales, avoir certaines choses pour l'individu, c'est toujours un constant entre qu'est-ce qu'on met sur la table, qu'est-ce qu'on on veut pour nous, qu'est-ce qu'on veut donner, qu'est-ce qu'on veut offrir. Comme moi, j'offre en premier des bisous, j'en ai des milliards, des chatouilles, des câlins, puis après, c'est des câlins, des bisous, puis des chatouilles. Vous pouvez dire non, je veux rien savoir de tes chatouilles, je veux rien savoir de tes câlins, je veux rien savoir de tes bisous. Mais, je veux savoir de ton rock'n'roll, Dragon White. Du rock'n'roll pour la belle province, j'en ai. J'ai dit du rock'n'roll pour la belle province, j'en ai. Hey, sans gêne, j'en viens. On n'est pas en janvier, j'en viens. Janvier, pour la belle province. Du rock'n'roll, j'en ai. Sans gêne, j'en ai. Je suis rock'n'roll. Androgyne pansexuel. Pas sans défaut, pas sans... En admettant que je suis médiocre, comme ci, comme ça, pas bon dans certaines choses, je suis aussi bon, excellent, super dans l'analyse géopolitique. Je l'ai étudié la gouvernance de la Chine. Je l'étudie encore peut-être ce soir quand je retourne après ma marche santé. Mais, je suis pas parfait. Et leur système a fonctionné, mes frères et sœurs citoyens. Ça, il faut... Mais oui, mais, il n'y a pas de ça. Mais si, puis ça, il n'y a pas de ça. Ça, c'est la réalité. Le système qu'eux autres ils ont installé, fait, depuis 1984, qui ont créé, la création de leur système, la fondation, le développement de leur système, création, développement, fondation de leur système qui se résume comme le socialisme avec caractéristiques chinois. Il a marché, ça a fonctionné, ça fonctionne pour la République populaire de la Chine. Bon, c'est sûr qu'il y a peut-être des citoyens qui ne sont pas d'accord avec ça, d'autres histoires. Ça. Mais ça, il faut, pour aujourd'hui puis pour demain, la politique, puis nos échanges avec la Chine, nos interactions avec la République populaire de la Chine, diplomatiques, financiers, commerciaux, économiques, nos chefs politiques, chefs d'affaires, des corporations qui ont des intérêts en Chine, commerciaux, d'échanges de toutes sortes, puis la Chine ici, puis XYZ, vice-versa. Il faut comprendre ça, puis il faut l'admettre. Il faut qu'on l'admette. Joe Biden, il faut qu'il admette ça. Mon teddy bear, premier ministre Legault, viens tant que je te donne un câlin. Mon frère citoyen premier ministre Justin Legault, il faut qu'il l'admette aussi. Le Parlement canadien, le Sénat, puis la Chambre du Congrès, le Congrès, États-Unis, de leader des États-Unis, du Congrès des États-Unis, l'Assemblée nationale, Québec. Il faut qu'on l'admette. Leur système, il a fonctionné pour eux autres. Il n'y a pas oui, mais, et si, puis ça, non. C'est sûr qu'il y a des complexités. Mais en général, direct, c'est ça. On peut critiquer, on peut dire ci puis ça. On peut. M'autocritique moi-même, mais le fait, puis il faut l'admettre, il faut faire un face-à-face avec ça. Moi, j'ai pas d'intérêt en Chine, financier, économique. Je veux la paix dans le monde, mais je suis pour la défense. Puis, pour bâtir d'autres centrales d'Hydro-Québec, 7% dans la 70 ici, pour le plaisir, pour notre jeunesse, les jeunes que j'aime bien, les jeunes que je veux les voir faire plus d'exercice physique, plus bien, plus en santé, plus joyeux, plus en harmonie avec l'individu et le collectif. Je suis pour la renaissance, réjuvénance, la défense, puis la prospérité, puis la santé. Des Québécois, Québécoises, des Canadiens, Canadiennes, des Nord-Américains qui se trouvent en Amérique du Nord. J'ai pas d'intérêt ni à travers l'océan Atlantique ni à travers l'océan Pacifique. Puis on a les deux océans. C'est une réalité géographique unique ici sur l'île de Montréal, dans cette vie puis dans une autre. Je ne me considère pas en étant membre d'aucune diaspora. Je ne me considère pas en étant membre d'une diaspora. Je ne me vois pas, je ne me considère pas en étant un membre d'une diaspora. Québécois, Canadien, Nord-Américain. J'étais né ici dans une autre vie. Pur laine, Québécois, dans une autre vie, j'étais pur laine. J'ai aidé Louis Ciel à pousser des chevaux sur une calèche. Puis je veux pour ici. Puis pour la défense de côte à côte. C'est ça. Puis, on va manger sur un budget. Thank you, thank you, thank you, farmers. Butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks. Entraînez-vous physiquement. C'est la médecine et thérapie de choix. Workout, train, exercise is my medicine and therapy of choice. Strongly encourage you all to do so.